Gun safety remaining an issue that's front and center in this campaign because of the events that just keep happening. We had a shooting outside Huey's involving an off-duty officer, and then we had a man with an AR-15 and mental issues, according to his mother, who shot inside, fired shots into Fox 13. Nobody hurt in that incident, thank goodness, but it has people talking about what can we do about this problem since we're not getting any help from the state legislature. And Dr. Jeff Warren, the city councilman, putting out an ordinance. I'll let you start with this, Sam, on what exactly is in this ordinance, and is there any realistic chance that it's going to
we haven't actually seen the ordinance yet. He's sort of proposed it in interviews with the media that it would ban assault weapons and it would ban permitless carry within Memphis city limits. And Mayor Strickland on Behind the Headlines this week said that he agrees with the sentiment in it, but he doesn't think that it really can be actually done. And so I think we should probably look at what Warren is proposing as sort of a coalition of political thought. A lot of politicians in Memphis, whether they're liberal, they're moderate, or conservative like Chase Carlisle, want something done about gun control. It's just a matter of, can the city really do it? And any ordinance that's passed probably is more ceremonial than not.
A very timely poll done on this by Vanderbilt University, Otis, that asked, do you support red flag laws to prevent school shootings? This is a statewide poll that Vanderbilt did. 75% of all Tennesseans said, yeah, we like the idea. And good numbers of non-MAGA Republicans, MAGA Republicans, Democrats, Independents. This is an issue you can hardly lose on looking at those numbers because you don't get Tennesseans to agree on much. And this says to me that this will probably go somewhere as far as Governor Bill Lee is concerned, who was in town this week speaking on behalf of his belief that we need to have a special session sometime this summer to talk about the red flag laws and at least get that passed.
Well, it's true, although Governor Lee refuses to use the term red flag. Right. Which I think he's just trying to parse words there and not irritate some deep conservative Republicans. But that poll, Richard, should be a wake-up call to the legislature. They are on the wrong side of this issue. And if there is a special election, a special session, they need to do more than just some ceremonial passage of something that's going to be watered down. That poll also showed a growing disapproval of the legislature and the job that they're doing. It's up to 48% disapproval, and that's within the last 6 months. It's up from 34% disapproval. They need to be paying attention to this because I think this is at an inflection point where in the next election, some of these Republicans could easily get voted out of office because people are serious about it.
Yeah, we had that poll. Actually, we showed 43% approval rating for the state legislature, and
it was 48% disapproval.
So right? Yeah, it was. You know, when you have that kind of number, some message should be delivered to state lawmakers, sure. I would think. What do you think, Tawan?
I think it is a shame that we have legislators or representatives who are not in touch or in tune with where their constituents are.
But let me play devil's advocate with you on that, because we also, nationwide, 88 to 90% of Americans want some kind of gun safety measures passed, but they can't get it through.
And that's why we, as voters, we have to vote on our principles rather than our labels. Because labels get us entrenched when people can't work across the aisle. And there are some issues that go beyond a label. And we have to have politicians who are astute enough to know what they are. And safety is a prime responsibility of public service.
Or does this just show the tremendous influence that pro-gun groups and lobbyists have, not only with Congress, but our state lawmakers too?
And rural legislators rule the roost in Nashville. And they don't really care about Memphis much at all. They don't care about Nashville. They're trying to take power away from them as well. So they're not paying attention. But this issue is resonating. That poll was really eye-opening in the number of Republicans, Democrats, and Independents who said you've got to do something.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you see some moderate Republicans here in Memphis, right? Like John Gillespie and Senator Brent Taylor, who are both in very purple districts, right? And they are saying, yes, we should pass some gun control legislation. And that is out of step, to Otis's point, with their party, but because their districts are very purple. you know, they are in places that precincts probably went for Joe Biden, but probably went for them.
Right.
Those same precincts.
And that's why
That's right.
That's why I think that we have to have legislators like those, John Gillespie as well as Brent Taylor, to think about what's good for Shelby and vote for Shelby. And we know that I'm glad to see the councilman do what he's doing, and I hope it will be voted for. I do know that we have a state law that prohibits you from having anything stronger than the state law. However, I think that's an issue that needs to go to court.
It needs to go to court.
It needs to go to court.
Well, he called it a medical emergency, Dr. Jeff Warren didn't. You can see why he did that. I think it's interesting, too. This may make a difference with some state lawmakers. When they had this poll previously, when they asked about guns, it was always way down at the bottom in terms of when voters say, how important is it to you really?
Right.
But the biggest movement of all since the last poll was that has moved from down at the bottom to the third most important issue for voters. So maybe that'll make a difference.
And I
that
hope
wasn't just, that poll was not just for Shelby County.
In all Tennessee.
Oh,
It's
no,
all
that's a
Tennessee,
statewide.
even rural areas.
Absolutely.
So it speaks to, there are some things that they want us to find a way to work together on and get some results for them.
Well, I certainly hope that people like John Gillespie, like Brent Taylor, Mark White, I hope that they go up there and vote the way the public wants them to vote on these issues and not kowtow to Cameron Sexton or Randy McNally or anybody else up there who is just dead set against any changes with the gun laws.
All right, well, we have some city council members to talk about next. One took a job that's got her in some hot water, and another wants a job as U.S. Senator. We'll talk about that too right after this.